Late last night, we witnessed one of the wildest arguments in NASCAR history. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. I like to half joke all the time about how I spend my entire day on social media so you don't have to. Last night, I brushed my teeth, took a shower, got into bed, and naturally opened up Twitter because, like most of Gen Z, I am sadly chronically online. But last night, my addiction paid off because I was able to witness one of the wildest NASCAR beefs play out in real time. Sonoma Raceway and North Wilkesboro Speedway are the two most recent Speedway Motorsports owned tracks to be repaved. Goodyear conducted a tire test with Martin Truex Jr., Ross Chastain, and Josh Berry at Sonoma Raceway just last week. And NASCAR will return to North Wilkesboro Speedway next month for the All-Star race. SMI has a mixed history when it comes to repaves. Texas Motor Speedway has been maligned by drivers and fans alike ever since its repave and reconfiguration 7 years ago. Meanwhile, Atlanta Motor Speedway has been dubbed the hottest ticket in NASCAR by Dale Earnhardt Jr. since it was repaved and reconfigured. Neither Sonoma nor North Wilkesboro were significantly reconfigured in any way, just repaved. Yet Sonoma, it appears, is already crumbling under the pressure. Literally. This post made the rounds yesterday, which shows Sonoma Raceway's new surface cracking and coming apart. Track issues yesterday forced the GT World Challenge to cancel all on-track activity for the day. I don't know anything about repaving a track, but I do know it shouldn't look like this. Did they hire Lightning McQueen for this project to make sure they met their deadline? Hey, looks like NASCAR's got another street race on the circuit. Look at all those potholes. I'm not the only one questioning Speedway Motorsports. X, formerly known as Twitter, was ablaze yesterday evening. And it all began with a single post from NASCAR Cup Series driver and team owner Denny Hamlin. When paving on a budget goes wrong, North Wilkesboro will be next. Now this post got the attention of Marcus Smith, the son of Bruton Smith, the current president and CEO of Speedway Motorsports. He replied to Hamlin, "This is a great post from somebody who doesn't know all the information. Ignorance on display for the world to see." Strong words, but that's fair. Denny Hamlin certainly doesn't know all the information. So maybe, Marcus, you own the track. Maybe you could share some of that information with us. I will delete this tweet when Denny sends me a text or gives me a call directly to ask why this is happening. Marcus, if you have some information to share it with the whole class. Denny Hamlin is obviously a very public figure, but he was far from the only person expressing concern with Sonoma's repave. I think we all would like an explanation if you've got one. This is where things took an ugly turn. I don't think Denny Hamlin liked being called ignorant. He replied, "You don't need to delete. We've seen your reconfiguration record." Oh, hell yeah, Dennis, let him have it. I'm still not over what his company did to my beloved Texas Motor Speedway. No, in all seriousness though, if I'm being objective, Speedway Motorsports also reconfigured Atlanta, and that track did just put on arguably one of the most exciting races in NASCAR history, motorsports history. So, I'm really not trying to take sides here. I'm trying to be as neutral and objective as possible. But after that response from Denny, hopefully Marcus Smith can calm things down. We don't need two prominent NASCAR figures beefing with each other on social media after midnight. Hopefully cooler heads prevail. Here was Marcus's response. Following up on my previous post, our team at SMI has an amazing track record for working to exceed expectations. Your nonchalant post is insult to hundreds of people that are dedicated to exceeding expectations for the racing community and NASCAR fans around the world. Your negative comments would carry a lot more weight if you had a championship to back them up. Wow, what? Marcus Smith really just said, count them rings. Oh wait, you don't have any. It's like I'm watching First Take on ESPN. What does that have to do with anything? Talk about deflection. Oh, my track is falling apart? Well, your pit crew shouldn't have put a giant piece of tape on the car at Homestead in 2019. You bum? What? Objection, Your Honor, irrelevant. Oh, and Marcus Smith wasn't done. Yes, we take risks. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. We've seen your attempt of the championships as well. When you have a chance, maybe you could give me some golf tips. Oh my gosh, he's doubling down on the playground insults. This is Marcus Smith, CEO and president of one of the largest players in the American motorsports landscape. Why is he taking shots at drivers after midnight? Go to sleep. One thing's for sure, Denny Hamlin was wide awake at this point. He responded, "Here's your tip. Let someone else run your business before you blow everything your dad gave you." Oh, it's over. Pack it up. Let's go home. Clean up on aisle 11. Marcus Smith made one final post trying to get the last word. "So proud of my dad, Hall of Famer. If he had a Twitter/X account, I don't think his comment would be family friendly. So listen here, almost NASCAR champion. You keep working at it and one day you're going to get a big trophy. Thanks for the tip." Goodness gracious, dude used the same "you've got no rings" insult 3 times in a row. This was a hard read, but ladies and gentlemen, we made it through. Again, this is the one time where my addiction to social media actually paid off, because by the time I woke up this morning, Marcus Smith had actually deleted all of those tweets I just read you. Probably at the direction of the board or whoever he answers to. Can't have, wacky tweets affecting your stock price. Actually, hold the phone. Marcus Smith just made one final post this morning. Following up on my previous posts, I take a lot of pride in the dedication and hard work our teammates put forth to make NASCAR the very best it can be, and I shouldn't let social media conversations get personal, so I deleted those posts. Denny Hamlin is a passionate driver and team owner, and I'm truly looking forward to seeing him drive for a championship this year. Our team is working hard to fix some pavement issues at Sonoma, and we will get it right. Let's keep the positive momentum going in 2024. Okay. As wildly entertaining as this was to read last night, it wasn't a great look for the sport. These kinds of arguments should happen behind closed doors. My guess is that some of these arguments have taken place behind closed doors. Denny Hamlin probably wasn't happy with the progress, and now he's making it public, trying to stir up the masses, get public support. Which is bold, honestly, because Denny Hamlin, I think by many, is seen as kind of the villain of the sport currently, and Marcus Smith, at least before last night, I would argue his reputation was at an all-time high. He spearheaded the North Wilkesboro renovations, and while not perfect, I think that project turned out really well. It was an incredible effort, and the final product was just surreal. I was there, and I saw Marcus Smith wandering around the track talking one-on-one with different fans. He deserves a lot of credit for North Wilkesboro being the success it was. And I just mentioned Atlanta. I know the reconfiguration is still polarizing, but the race in February was unbelievable. As charming as the old Atlanta surface was, this new reconfiguration so far has injected some much-needed life into that facility. So Denny Hamlin went after Marcus Smith when Marcus Smith's reputation, I believe, was at an all-time high. But he's hurt his reputation after last night, for sure. The perception now is that SMI has cheaped out on recent repaves. Now their CEO is hurling childish insults at drivers in the middle of the night when faced with valid criticism. Not a great look for SMI whatsoever. Look, I think SMI is kind of lagging behind ISC, or now NASCAR-owned tracks. NASCAR-owned tracks like Daytona, Talladega, Phoenix have invested hundreds of millions of dollars into renovations to upgrade their facilities. NASCAR has poured millions more into new events like the Clash at the LA Coliseum, the Chicago Street Race. New, intriguing events that vault NASCAR into the modern era. SMI, by comparison, is kind of falling behind. My home track at Texas Motor Speedway just seems to look more and more outdated every single year. There's not a bad seat in the house at Bristol, but the few times I've been, it feels a little old and not quite as charming as, say, like a Martinsville or Darlington. I will say this, Denny Hamlin's comments about Marcus Smith destroying the company his dad built, that was taking things too far. Are things perfect? No, absolutely not. But point to one part of the NASCAR industry that is booming at the moment. No one's booming. Everyone at best is just getting by, it seems. If you're going to criticize Marcus Smith, which is absolutely fair, you do have to give him some credit for things like the Charlotte Roval. He introduced that at a time when mile and a halves were stale, and for at least a few years there, the Roval was a huge hit, a huge success. Bristol Dirt. Fox wanted it, Marcus Smith played by their rules, and at least from a ratings perspective, Bristol Dirt was a success. Again, I point to North Wilkesboro. I'm just trying to be fair. I'm not trying to come down too hard or too soft on Hamlin or Marcus Smith here. There are plenty of reasons to criticize Marcus Smith and Speedway Motorsports, and if the Sonoma and North Wilkesboro repaves prove to be a disaster, then they rightfully deserve to get dragged. But I do think we should try our best to be fair, at least. Marcus Smith, criticizing Hamlin for not winning a championship was out of pocket, was uncalled for. But some of Hamlin's comments, I think, maybe crossed the line as well. Again, last night, as entertaining as it was, not a great look for the NASCAR industry. Keep this in mind. Denny Hamlin, driver, team owner, has been directly negotiating against Marcus Smith and the tracks for a larger chunk of the next media rights revenue. Hamlin has said in the past that he thinks the tracks get too much money and they don't spend enough of it on improving the at-track experience. I'm sure Marcus Smith has disagreed with those comments, so I think naturally behind the scenes these two have been at odds for at least a couple of years now. Things just spilled over into the public eye last night. Ugly, but wildly entertaining. That's how I would sum up last night's Twitter beef. Hey, to Denny Hamlin's credit, he gave us something else to talk about besides that late race Richmond restart. Mission accomplished. Share your reaction to this rivalry down in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We talk NASCAR every single day here on the show. And a huge thank you to my very generous Patreon supporters. I woke up this morning wondering if I dreamed the Twitter beef, but no, sure enough, it was real. Very, very real. Crazy, crazy. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you this weekend after the Martinsville race. Have a good one.